Hello, welcome back to Paul's Racing Channel and to track guide number 9 here in America at the Michelin Raceway Road at Atlanta. Only the one layout here, clockwise again. I'm going to take you through it now. I'll be honest with you, this took me quite a few attempts actually just to manage to get 5 clean laps around here. So I don't really improve on my time. I do improve on it in the next lap, but I don't improve on it much in there. So, just to stress again, these guides are not a way of showing you how fast you can go around here. It's just more really just to give you a bit of an idea of where the head and where your lines are, braking points, etc. So just to stress, this is not how to be quicker around here. But this is how I do it. This is how I drive. Obviously, different people drive different ways, etc., etc. So just my own personal way of doing it, but really just more of a guide on braking points and apexes and stuff like that. So let's go on with it then. Usual thing, just about to start lap 3 and then the 2 flying laps. So here we go. So we're just about to cross the line here as we come around that last right-hander along to turn 1 up to about 6th gear at this point, and then at this point I don't know if there's any markers here actually. Just go back a minute and start that again. So actually let's just forward that a little bit to this point here, and let's see. I just instinctively know when to lift. Well, you have kind of got these that orange sort of marker on the end of the wall there, although that seems a little bit far back. So maybe just kind of the middle of them cones, about there somewhere on the left. You want to start to lift now. Probably at that point you're going to be, I'm in 6th gear at this point. I'll drop it down to about 4th and then just roll it through. That you don't really have to brake. Just give it a quick little stab if you like at this point, but you don't have to brake to go around this turn 1. Just a quick stab, just to slow it down and just a touch, and then just let it run out. So basically lift it and then just roll around this first corner. Try and get as close as you can into the inside of this curb on the right hand side, and then what you're going to be is aiming for the curb on the left. Obviously you don't want to be hitting that grass, but it does widen out a little bit out there, actually, more than what you think. It looks quite tight at this point, but as you come out, use all of that curb as far as you can go out. Just let the momentum take you on that left hand side, but obviously you don't want to be touching that grass. Up the hill now into this blind left hander into a quick right hand. This is probably the most difficult corner, I think, on this whole circuit. As you say, it's a blind corner coming up here. Now you want to start to probably brake or certainly lift and drop it down here right on the brow of this hill here. You want to try and straighten it up. The problem is, because it's not a very straight piece of track, it can throw the car out. So obviously you're on the apex here on the left, but then you're going to be going to this tight right-hander, which you'll see in a minute, about with the little steward's boxes there. And because it's not actually straight, you're not braking in a straight line, which does throw the car out or can throw the car off a little bit. So you've got to be pretty careful. This is it's probably the trickiest corner on there, and you do have to apply a bit of brake here, more than probably you think. So as you come up now, as you can see, there it is. Now that curb, you can take that curb on the right hand side, right on the inside there. I don't think you get a penalty there, but obviously you've got to be a bit careful not to take too much of it and onto the grass, because there's not a lot of space here at all on this twisty, sort of snaky section now. So as you come across, and you've got a little bit of an escape road on the left, which you obviously is there for you for exactly that. If you get into trouble, you can go across there, but you will pick up a penalty if you're not careful for obviously track limits and shortcutting. So as you come round, there's not a lot of area to play with here, and say you've got the curb on the left, but it's very, very tight. You just want to try and hug this curb as much as you can. Now some cars might like it. This Merc don't particularly like the curb. If you got onto that, it does move the car around a little bit, makes it a little bit unstable. Other cars might be all right through there, so I'll keep clear of it, well clear of it. Now through here, it's pretty much all the way through flat. I'll get up to about 5th gear as we hit the dip on the middle of the S's there. As you can see it there, great shot of the S's actually. So it's flat all the way through really. Just try and hit these inside all these apexes. On this next one, you can take most of this, but almost straight line it and take the grass as well here, up to about 5th gear at this point. So straight across. Now middle of this curb, you want to start. It's another, probably the second trickiest corner, because it's all cambered, and it will give you a penalty as well. So, but you're dropping it down to about maybe fourth, third, fourth, something like that at this point, probably in fifth at this point for me. And I'm going to be dropping it down to about third. Again, try and take this inside curb, but you've got to be a bit careful because of the camber. If you hit it, you're going to be thrown across to the right. Plenty of runoff on the right, but believe it or not, you will get a penalty if you put all your car right across that, just above on the top of the hill there. See that white line? If you come back across, all your wheels are this side of this yellow and white line, the solid line that is, you will pick up a penalty for sure there. You cannot, it's a shortcut. So it's a bit of a tricky, it's quite, because you're coming down there here quite quick through them S's. And then you're just kind of braking and then trying to straighten up to come up across the top of the hill here. So as you do go across the timing line, so I'm not going to get any quicker laps, 1:17.8. Down to these lines here. Now this first set of lines coming across the circuit here, for this next right-hander, is where you want to start to brake. And I'll drop it down to third gear here. So again, just trying to hug this inside curb. Power, all full power between the two right-handers. It's almost like a double apex right-hander, so a little spurt of power between the two. As you can see, there's not a lot of room here. There's a lot of just a little bit of curb and mostly grass. So, you know, the slightest error and you'll be off. Again, try and hug this inside curb. I'll come quite deep there. And then use all this curb on the left there as you run it across. Now the big flat section, as we come into the end of the lap now, all the way along the back straight through Hampers area, which is right along this long straight. You're going up, obviously up the gearbox, right up to sixth gear before you go down the dip before the chicane. And again, you've got these markings on the circuit here which are there for a purpose. I think the first one's probably your braking, the second one's for your gears. So you start to brake about this point. There's no actual marker boards as such. I've got up to sixth gear at this point. I'm going to be dropping it down to second in this Merc from sixth to try and get through this, just to give it a little bit more help as you come through, because you've got to be going up a hill as well as you exit the right hand of this chicane. So as you come in, again, you can take some of this inside curb. You can almost take that dirt and the grass on the inside there. Again, just got to be careful depending on the car if it doesn't throw it out. But you can use all of that and then just feather it through here. Take the inside curb, use all this curb on the left, but it can, because it's very bumpy and you're going uphill, it's going to unsteady the car as well. So again, you can end up over on the right hand side of the track if you're not careful. It will, if you use too much of that curb. Up under the bridge, on the top of the hill, straight down. Now you're sort of aiming, you're going to obviously go around to the right there, but here I'm almost just heading straight for the end of that curb on the left, just to widen out the final corner. Really, you know, you don't want to be too narrow because you're never going to get round it. So really you need to come as far as you can to the left, obviously, to just open it up for you so that you go flat through here, all the way flat. Just clip this inside curb there and over the line. And so here we go. So up to the final lap now. Down to turn one, up to sixth gear, drop it down to fourth. Right, go now, just let it feed itself out. Go. top of the brow, lift, brake, down to third. I actually go wide there. Had a bit of grass I shouldn't have. All the way through up to fifth gear as you hit this centre, across the grass a little bit, down to third. Try not to clip too much of that inside curb. Don't take all of this. So all your four wheels not over it, you're fine. Now to this next right-hander, onto the line on the circuit, brake, pop it down, spurt the power in between these two, down to second gear. Try and clip this inside curb, use all that on the left. Way through now to the back straight, through the middle of the Campers Union. Lost a lot of time here. Down to the lines, down to second gear. Try and clip that inside curve as much as you can. Little spurt of power there. Just give it a little bit, not too much welly. Up over the top, aim for that curb, and then swing it through. And there's your lap of Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta. So again, as I always say, hope it's helped some people out. And yeah, on to the next one. Well, actually, there won't be a next track guide. I'm not going to be doing a track guide for the final round. And being it is on the Nordschleife, which is about 100 corners on that, it's going to take me longer to do that than it is to do the 3 rounds of racing. So yeah, I'm not going to bother with that one. So this is your final track guide of the season. You can watch the action obviously from the Green Hell once the videos are up. But let's get this round out of the way first. So that's it then. Track guide number 9 for you. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you again soon.